advantages of your amplitude modulation. So you could note it, AM transmitters are less complex compared to, if you compare it with the FM or any other technique, you will find that it is least complex. And then the second is AM receivers are also like simple. AM receivers are simple. Detection is easy. Okay, it is that simple that even you could actually design one as a hobby project, AM transmitter or receiver. Okay, then the third one is AM receivers are cost efficient. AM receivers are cost efficient. Hence, they are affordable. Okay, that is the reason. Now, the number 4, AM waves can travel longer distance. This is another advantage. AM waves can travel longer distance. This is another significant advantage. So a radio station transmitting from USA or Australia can be received here also, provided that the noise is little low. During the night time, you may be able to detect it. Then fifth is the low bandwidth requirement. So these are some of the advantages. Tell me. Power wastage takes place in DSB full carrier. Okay. The second is DSB full carrier, or DSB, mostly DSB basically, are bandwidth inefficient. System is bandwidth inefficient. Compared, if you compare this DSB with this single sideband, you will find that this will be less efficient in terms of bandwidth. However, the bandwidth requirement is obviously low. You cannot deny that. So next, third is the biggest disadvantage of AM is that AM wave gets affected due to noise. That is the biggest problem. Affected due to noise. Here we will be like learning ways by which we will be able to generate signals, amplitude modulated signals without carrier. As we have already seen that the carrier is basically wasted. Okay, so that means we should find a method by which we will be able to cancel out the carrier. So we have already understood that the output of a multiplier is a signal which is the product of the two input signals. So if we have a signal like this, okay, and another signal which is basically the carrier, let's say V of t, let's say Y of t, Y V of t. So we have already seen that if we use a physical multiplier, we will be not only getting this x of t multiplied with y of t, we will be also getting x of t, and then we will be getting y of t also. This we have already seen. Okay, whatever physical multipliers we have, like the diode, using the diode as a multiplier, if we used it as a multiplier, we have found that it is also giving us the input frequency term. Okay, so you must have seen that when we were multiplying the message signal and the carrier, we found that we got the modulated signal, and then along with this we got the message signal as well as the carrier. So using a band pass filter, what we did, we passed this particular signal through a band pass filter or that tuned circuit, or your tuned circuit. So when we passed it through that tuned circuit, what was cancelled was the message signal, but still the modulated signal and the carrier were still present. Okay, so there was no way we could actually remove the carrier. That was a problem actually. Okay, so let us try to understand a method by which we will be suppress this carrier. Okay, our aim here is to suppress this carrier. Let us find a method. Let us see a method where we will be doing this. Okay, so how can we do this? If we take another signal which is, let's say, like this, the modulated signal. Okay, this will be positive, this will be, this is positive, huh? If we take a carrier like this, minus carrier like this, okay, then what we will get? Twice of modulated signal, huh? And then this carrier will be cancelled. This is the process that we will be actually using. Okay, got it? So that means what kind of signal we need? We need a signal which is opposite in phase. Okay, we need a carrier signal which is opposite in phase. If we do that, we will be able to cancel out the carrier. Okay, so let us understand. Let us write the fundamentals first, then we will be discussing about the circuit. So the output, you could write the output of a multiplier is a signal which is the product of two input signals. Okay, this is what we actually need. But actually no simple physical device exists which yields the product alone. Okay, the actual output of a multiplier is not only the product but also the input signals themselves. Okay, so we have already seen that the modulating signal can be filtered out. The modulating signal can be filtered out, but carrier remains. If we want to get the product alone, okay, alone, we must cancel carrier. Got it? So if we want to get the product alone, we must cancel carrier. So such a suppression can be achieved by adding to the AM signal a signal of carrier frequency, equal in amplitude, okay, but opposite in phase. Okay, so let us see such a arrangement where we will be doing this. Okay, so let me write that also. The product signal in such circumstances without carrier, without your carrier, is called as your double sideband suppressed carrier. Try to understand this. Okay, and such an arrangement for carrier suppression is shown below. Okay, so you have seen that if we cancel the carrier, the signal will be called double sideband suppressed carrier. And let us see a circuit where we will be generating this kind of signal. So obviously we will need the signals Vc of t, which is nothing but your AC cos omega Ct. Okay, So then we also need a signal Vm of t, okay, which we obviously know what it is. So we will be applying this one to a AM modulator, a square law modulator or something will do our job. So this is an AM modulator. Okay. So what is inside this modulator, AM modulator? That square law modulator, what we have seen, same thing is there inside it. Okay. And then this signal will be passed. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. Okay. So this signal will be passed. Whatever signal we will be getting here, we will be basically getting this much AC into 1 plus Vm of t cos omega ct. This is the signal that we will be getting. So this signal will be applied, just a minute. Yeah, this will be applied to an adder. This is the adder. And on the bottom, again, we will be taking the same signals. However, they will be of opposite polarity. So we will be getting minus Vm of t and then minus AC cos omega ct. So we will be applying these two signals to another amplitude modulator. Okay. So this is another AM modulator. So it is applied to this adder. Okay. And then you will be getting minus AC. So 1 minus your Vm of t. Okay. Then cos omega ct. Then minus Vm of t. So what we will be getting here, we will be getting 2 times Vm of t AC cos omega ct. So this is the signal that we will get. Okay. So this device that you have seen here, where we are using two AM modulators to cancel out the carrier. So this circuit is called your balanced modulator. Try to understand that this name of this circuit is nothing but balanced modulator. Achha, on the top also you will also have Vm of t. I have forgotten to write that. So here you could see this Vm of t minus Vmt of t. These things will be cancelled. You will not need that tuned circuit that we were using in the earlier square law modulators and other devices. Okay, only simple diode modulators could be used, and then you could just cancel out the unwanted components. Okay, so here you have seen, you could write it here, two physical multipliers are used which are labeled as AM modulators. Okay. Next point, the carrier inputs to the two modulators are of reverse polarity. The carrier inputs to the two modulators are of reverse polarity. So as are modulating signals. Okay. Next point is the modulator outputs are added, okay, with consequent suppression of your carrier and baseband signal. Okay. So this arrangement or the arrangement for this cancellation of carrier and baseband signal is known as your balanced modulator. Okay. So let me just show you the spectrum of this kind of signal, this double sideband suppressed carrier. So this spectrum will be like this. So if this is 0, okay, then this is your FM and this is your minus FM. And let's say the modulating signal is like this, then the carrier signal should have been here at this location, FC and minus FC, your carrier signal must have been there. So the modulated signal will look like this. Okay. So it will be like this. So you could see here that the carrier which was present in the previous signal, that will not be there, which I have shown here in dotted line. Na? The carrier. So carrier is not present here, as you could see here. Okay. If you cancel out the carrier, the amplitude modulated signal will look like this. This is the envelope and this will be the signal. No added carrier. if we cancel out the carrier, this DSB signal that we get is no longer recoverable by using the envelope detector. You cannot demodulate it using the envelope detector. DSB suppressed carrier, that is DSB SC, is not recoverable, okay, with an envelope detector. Okay. So now we will be discussing about another kind of modulator which we could use to generate this double sideband suppressed carrier signal. Okay. So the name of that device is the switching modulator. Switching modulator. Okay. So let us like write its principle, and then I will like make you understand the principle behind it. Okay. So you could note it first, that the multiplication operation required, the multiplication operation required for the modulation operation. Okay, for the modulation operation can be replaced by a simpler switching operation. Switching operation. Okay, if we realize that a modulated signal, can be obtained by multiplying Vm of t not only by a pure sinusoid, but by any periodic signal which is named phi of t of fundamental frequency omega c. Of fundamental frequency omega c. Okay. So we have already written that the multiplication operation required for modulation can be replaced by a simpler switching operation if we realize that a modulated signal can be obtained by multiplying Vm of t not only by a pure sinusoid but by any periodic signal phi of t of fundamental frequency omega c. So if you have a periodic signal, it may be a pulse train like this. Okay, it may be a pulse train like this, but if you have a periodic signal like 0 t0 2 t0, so if you have a periodic signal, you could always know, you could represent it as a Fourier series like this. Okay, so phi of t is equal to summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity Cn cos n omega ct plus theta n. So you could always represent it like what I mean to say from here is that if we have a periodic signal, okay, then we could always express it in this form. Okay, in terms of a Fourier series, which maybe it could be expressed in this alternate form of Fourier series that we have read. Okay, so now see what happens if I multiply a signal Vm of t with this phi of t. Phi of t is representing that periodic signal, any periodic signal. So which is equal to summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity. Okay, Cn then Vm of t. Okay, cos n omega ct plus theta n. Okay, so if I try to like open this bracket, this summation, what I will find, can you tell me? You could see that I will find one is Cn is there, just a minute, Cn is there, so n is 0, that means I will get C0, the first term I will get is C0, then Vm of t, okay, cos n is 0, so cos 0 omega ct plus, let theta n be 0, let us just neglect that, so let it be 0. So this will be the first term that I will be getting. Then the second term will be C1, then Vm of t, okay, cos omega ct, if I take theta n is equal to 0, okay, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, everything is equal to 0. If I take it, I will be getting this signal. Then the next signal will be C2, Vm of t, okay, cos 2 omega ct. So this way it goes on and on. What is of our importance, you know, this signal, as you could see here, isn't it the modulated signal? So this is basically the modulated signal, if you could see. Okay, so we could say that we can get a modulated signal not only from like by multiplying a sinusoidal carrier, we could actually generate it by taking any periodic signal. Okay, so what we could do instead is, in place of just a minute, in place of just multiplying your baseband signal, this is your baseband signal, and multiplying it with the carrier signal, in place of doing this, what we could do instead, you know, in place of this, we will multiply this signal with a pulse train like this, a periodic pulse train. Okay, so if we multiply a periodic pulse train, just multiply these two signals. Okay, just multiply these two signals and see what you are getting. So if you multiply it, don't you think you will be getting this a signal like this? So whatever signal is there, if we try to multiply it, do you think we will be getting a signal like this? Okay, so we will be getting a signal like this. Do you understand why we are getting a waveform like this? Because see, you multiply this particular signal, okay, this phi of t along with this Vm of t. So obviously, if you multiply it, it will take the shape of that signal. So we will be getting this kind of signal. So now look at this. If I take a sinusoidal signal, see, this is the product, Vm of t multiplied with phi of t. So this is the product that we have obtained. However, let me show another way to generate this signal. So if I take a sinusoidal waveform, okay, I take a sinusoidal waveform and then I pass it through a switch. Try to understand this. I have taken a sinusoidal waveform and I have passed it through a switch. Now, what I am doing, you know, I am turning on the switch for some time, then I am turning it off. Okay, then again I am turning it on for some time, then off. Then I am again turning it on for some time, and then I am turning it off. Okay, then again on for some time, then again off, then again on for some time. So if I do this kind of switching operation to the modulating signal, then also I am getting the same, I am getting a similar signal. Do you see this? So this signal that I am getting here, this particular signal that I am getting here, actually it may not, if you look at it directly, it may not seem to you like a modulating signal, a modulated signal, but it is actually basically a combination of the modulated signal and some other signal. Okay, so it is in this form, as you could see this expression here. So it is in this form. So other components are added to it. That's why you cannot see that particular form of the modulating signal, modulated signal. So what you could do instead is you could then pass this signal through a filter, which will be obviously a band pass filter. Okay, then you will get the modulated signal. So here you will get the modulated. Okay, so this is the process that is employed in the switching modulator. So you could write that such a periodic signal may be expressed as your phi of t is equal to summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity Cn cos n omega ct plus theta n. Okay, and hence we could write it as Vm of t into phi of t is equal to nothing but summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity. These are the things that we have already written. Vm of t cos n omega ct plus theta n. Okay. So here we could see the spectrum also contains, let me write that. So this shows that spectrum of the product Vm of t multiplied with phi of t, okay, is the spectrum of Vm of t, okay, shifted by your plus minus omega c, then plus minus 2 omega c dot 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 up to plus minus n omega c. In this way this goes on. Okay, so here you could see in this signal I had, which where I have shown you, let me show you. So here you could see easily the spectrum is shifted. Okay, so here it is shifted by omega c, here it is shifted by 2 omega c. If we go on, it will be shifted by 3 omega c, 4 omega c, plus minus like that. So it will go on like this. Okay, now if this signal is passed through a band pass filter, okay, of bandwidth 2 bHz, which is basically the bandwidth of the AM signal, and tuned to your omega c, okay, which is the carrier frequency, then we get the desired modulated signal. Okay, then we get the desired modulated signal, which is nothing but your C1 Vm of t cos omega ct plus theta 1. Okay, so here your theta 1 can be neglected, or you could fix it to be 0. So we take a signal which is your m of t or Vm of t, whatever you could say, and then we multiply a pulse train which is your W of t like this. Okay, and then whatever signal we get, this is the signal that we will be getting, as you could see. This is the signal that we will be getting, and then this signal is passed through a band pass filter. So this signal is then passed through a band pass filter, and the output is here. Okay, in the time domain it will look like this. Okay, so in the time domain it will look like this. So you have known what is your W of t, right? So this signal is your W of t. Okay, so let me just show you the expression for that W of t. So the square pulse train, which is your W of t, okay, in the figure, is a periodic signal. Okay, It is a periodic signal whose Fourier series was found to be, so this is basically the trigonometric Fourier series. So, however, in the alternate form, yeah, it is the trigonometric Fourier series, and not in the alternate form, it is in the normal form. Okay. So, W of t is equal to 1 by 2 and half plus 2 by pi cos omega ct minus 1 by 3 cos 3 omega ct, then that plus 1 by 5 cos 5 omega ct, okay, minus dot 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 dot, this will go on. Okay. So, the signal Vm of t multiplied by with the signal Vm of t multiplied with your W of t is given by how much? If we multiply these two, obviously we will be getting this much. Vm of t multiplied with W of t is equal to, we will be getting half Vm of t, that plus 2 by pi times whatever is there inside the bracket. Sorry, whatever there is in the bracket, to that it will be multiplied. So we will get Vm of t. The first term will be Vm of t cos omega ct. Okay. Then minus 1 by 3 Vm of t cos 3 omega ct, that plus 1 by 5 Vm of t cos 5 omega ct. This will go on, this will go on like this, dot 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 dot. Okay. So if we pass it through the band pass filter, only one frequency component, that is this, only this particular frequency component will be preserved, everything else will be blocked. Okay. Thus, we could write the spectrum consists of multiple copies of the signal V, capital Vm of f, that is the Fourier transform of Vm of t. Okay, shifted by how much? Plus minus omega c, comma, plus minus 3 omega c, comma, plus minus 5 omega c, likewise, dot 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 dot. Okay, that means in the frequency domain, if we would like to show it, then your Vm of f will be like this. This is your Vm of, capital Vm of f is this signal, and you could see that it is shifted like this. So these will be the signals, they will be shifted like this in both directions. Okay, so one will be at plus minus omega c. Okay, omega c minus omega c, then minus, the next term is plus 3 omega c minus 3 omega c plus 5 omega c minus 5 omega c. In this way, it will be shifted in both the directions. Okay. So now we have to pass it through a band pass filter, which is centered at your omega c, so that it will only pass these components. Okay. Let me write that. Passing the signal Vm of t multiplied with W of t through a band pass filter, with bandwidth to B, okay, and center frequency omega c, we can get the modulated signal. Okay. So the signal that we will be generating here is the DSB SC, or suppressed carrier. Try to understand this. So this signal will not be recoverable by a envelope detector, obviously. You have to use a square law demodulator or something to basically demodulate it. Okay. So this is all about your switching modulator.